how brutal that game was? I mean, you guys have been able to run against really anyone all year, and this team just, what were they doing that was so effective?
They're a strong team. That was probably one of the biggest things that stood out from them compared to all the other defenses we played so far. They, they're strong dudes. They're big. They were really good with their technique, and so we had to kind of overcome that, dig deep, and use better technique eventually to get there. And in overtime, I think we really got the hang of it and were able to run the ball effectively against them then.
Was there anything about that? Because it did seem, that they got worn down as the game went on that made you guys effective in overtime?
Yeah, I think the altitude definitely affects everyone. I heard them talking a little bit about that they had a hard time catching their breath. I think by the time you get to double overtime in a game, they're worn down. But I also think our style of play, the offense that we run, really grinds down the team as well. It's a lot of ground and pound. Credit to Jamal and all the other guys that are doing that all the time, Taysom, because they're putting a beating on those guys and they feel it by the end of the game.
So Ty's run that play to you a couple times this year.
Yeah.
What was it like when you heard that play call in the huddle?
Triple checking that I definitely heard the play right and know what I'm doing. Just making sure I know my job. Went over like different scenarios with the coaches before we went out there, just so I knew I was ready for whatever they threw at us.
And then once you catch the ball, you turn, you see wide open spaces. Just take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting in the past when we've run that play, there's usually a corner in the flat that's ready to smack me in the knees. So I was half expecting that. I was kind of surprised to see that he was backed off and that there was no one after him. So usually corners go low. I expected him to go low, and he did. So I just sidestepped him, and then Nick had an amazing block that set it up for me to run to the corner.
You had a fumble recovery in the first overtime. What were you doing in the backfield?
Well, that's actually an ironic story. I actually overset on my pass pro and was out of position to block the guy. Ended up kind of stumbling, trying to get back into it, and the ball was there. So it's kind of an ironic thing because I made a mistake, but it ended up working out okay. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise,
What was the emotion like getting in the end zone? Because, I mean, in overtime, one mistake, one turnover, it changes the entire thing.
Yeah, I wanted to freak out and celebrate at first, but I don't know, something kept me in perspective in my mind, just saying, the game's not over. The defense still has to go out there, and we might have to go do it all over again. So I wasn't letting myself get too far ahead, just kept calm, remembered that, we might have to do it one more time. So just keeping everything in perspective, I think, was what I thought in the end of it all. But it was exciting. It was kind of surreal. I didn't know what to think at first when I walked in, so it's exciting.
I can't remember a team that has so many final finishes and last second. Does it ever get, normal? Or is it every time as surprising as the last one?
It's kind of like, why do we do this to ourselves a little bit? I think we're getting good at it, I would say. I think the first games of the season were tight ones, and we had to face some adversity that we as a team weren't ready or used to yet with our new schemes and everything. And I think through the trial and error of those first couple games and seeing how we made little mistakes to not be able to finish, this game and other recent games that have been close, we've figured out how to come together as a team in the schemes that we have with the new coaches and figure out how to finish. I think that's been one of our biggest strengths in these last couple games. We're getting better at it.
Tanner, what was it like, that final defensive sequence? I mean, they had the drop in the end zone, and it's a fourth down play where you don't know if you're going back out on the field. What was watching that? Just the highs and lows of that drive.
A lot of prayers. A lot of prayers were said then. It was just amazing to watch because their passing game for Mississippi State had been really solid, and they'd been relying on that consistently. But during overtime, everything just got locked down. The DBs were on point. No one was open. They were ready and covering, and they played really good sound technique. No penalties were called or anything like that. So the whole defense turned it up a whole new level, which was awesome to see. And that's what I kind of was talking about with finishing. They and when the team needed to step it up, we know now that we can step it up. And we have the capability to do that.
How long did that final pass seem like it was in the air before Fred knocked it away?
Oh gosh, it was scary because he punched it. And it was rolling around, and from the camera angle, you can't tell where it's going or what's going to happen. So it was kind of freaky to watch it. So it was long. It felt forever, but it was exciting to see that it was falling backwards and no one was going to get it. And when I realized that, it just dropped, and thank God, it was amazing. So that was cool.
Any other questions?
We good? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.